According to Casey Johnson, the team is now exploring trading both Zach Lavine and DeMar DeRozan. So back here with our panel. Perk, I want to start with you here. Is it time? Should the Chicago Bulls blow this thing up?
Hell yeah, it's been time. And you know what? Somebody's going to get an early Christmas present, because I know a lot of people been saying that DeMar DeRozan is washed, and a lot of people think they don't know what they're going to get out of Zach Lavine. But the fact of the matter is, both of these guys are superior talent still. And Zach Lavine hasn't even scratched the surface of his prime, in my opinion. And I know that's a lot of money, but if I'm the Miami Heat, I missed out on Bradley Beal. I missed out on Drew Holiday. I missed out on Damian Lillard. I might not want to miss out on Zach Lavine. And you know what's scary about this is that the Philadelphia 76ers have been playing some excellent basketball. But if you're Daryl Morey, you got to take a look at it. Now, I know Embiid and Tyrese Maxey are the pieces that no one could touch. But outside of that, you might have to look into this if you're Daryl Morey.
Yeah, I like him in New York. We just talked about
Zach.
Yeah, Zach. And I know he's not a superstar, and they're talking about them needing a big piece. But I think his ability to score the ball would alleviate stress and pressure on Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
I think that could be a possible fit.
I want to get to those possible fits, but we're not that far removed from the Bulls putting all of their pieces in on DeMar DeRozan, on Zach Lavine, on Lonzo Ball, who unfortunately has been injured, and we certainly hope to see him back on the floor at some point. They went all in on this group. 2 years ago, they were off to like a 6-1 start, and then the wheels just started falling off at various points. There were discussions over the summer of whether or not this group should stay together. I want to get to the teams that those guys can help, but I kind of feel like I got to speak for Bulls fans here. How should they be feeling about the direction of their franchise, Zach?
They should want a new direction, because this one doesn't work. I mean, we're 3 years now of Lavine, DeRozan, and Vucevic on the floor. Negative point differential every year, including a massive negative point differential this year. They just do not work together at a level that's high enough to justify the continued investment in them. So absolutely, they should be exploring Zach Lavine trades. That would be, it's their job to do that. And I do agree that he could fit. Like, we've named a lot of the right teams. Yep. I think the Lakers would perhaps consider looking at it once their players become trade eligible in December and January. But when you talk about the Knicks with Jalen Brunson, or you talk about the Sixers, as Perk mentioned, the Sixers, we all know they just got a bunch of trade assets for James Harden. Jalen Brunson in New York, Tyrese Maxey in Philadelphia. Zach Lavine has been a minus defender for his entire career. He's not an awful defender. He's just
is what it is.
Like, can you survive defensively at the highest levels with those respective backcourts? It's the same issue we run into every time there's sort of an offense-first, so defensive guard, undersized guard, whatever it is. Zach's not undersized on the trade market. And, like, you got to think about those fit issues. It's not quite that easy. But, boy, if offensively Zach is he can shoot it, shoot it.
Perk's giving
Yes, Perk.
Yep.
Yes, Perk.
This is the history teacher coming out.
And on top of that, no, because on top of that, we saw what just happened, or we're witnessing what happened with the James Harden situation, right? James Harden name, and, the desperation move that the Clippers made, and we saw how they looked before James Harden, right? I thought they had a nice team. As long as they stay healthy, they could have made a run. If you're a GM, you also got to be kind of patient, especially if your team is playing well, because chemistry is everything. So, yes, I talked about the Philadelphia 76ers, and I'm pretty sure that if they was to make a deal that Tobias Harris will be thrown in that. But Tobias Harris has been playing great for them. Tobias Harris is shooting close to 60% from the field under Nick Nurse. So, I mean, it's a sticky situation, but, again, we're talking about Daryl Morey, one of the most aggressive GMs to ever walk in the front office.
Yeah, I mean, that's when he brought up the point of him going into Miami. We just talked about the defensive stuff. I don't even know culturally if Zach fits in that whole – everything down there is grit, grind, defend. You look at New York situation, I immediately put them in the mix just due to just the onus on Brunson to carry that team on a night-to-night basis, especially in the fourth. They just need a little bit of pop, a little bit of scoring. You put Grimes in that second unit. I think that could fit naturally. We'll see.
It's just a question of whether or not, with all the space they have, do they want to make that move now, or do they want to get to something maybe even bigger, potentially all in next summer?
The other question is, do the Bulls have an appetite to rebuild? Like, no one is asking that question in terms of, like, do they actually want to take a step back? Like, what kind of deals are they looking at? Because they probably should.
Would they have a team meeting after the game one?
Game one, they did have a team meeting. We were not sure whether or not that was a record for the fastest ever team meeting, but if not, it's certainly up there. For those who are rooting for chaos, just nope, don't even go there. James Harden for Zach Lavine does not work in the trade machine.
Be exciting,
it doesn't work in the.
Hey, what's up, guys? Jag from Jaggy Sports here. Let's talk about Zach Lavine. Zach Lavine is gonna get traded. Him and the Bulls mutually agreed that they were going to find him a trading partner for him to land, and he has narrowed it down to the Philadelphia 76ers, Miami Heat, and the LA Lakers. Now, let's take a look at the 76ers for a sec. 76ers are balling right now. Absolutely 100% balling. So why would you want to mess with that? If it ain't broke, don't fix it type of scenario. Let's talk about the Lakers. Lakers, you know, I get it. They won, but they're putting way too much pressure on LeBron James, way too much pressure on Anthony Davis. Then you got Austin Reeves, who shows up once in a while. Rui Hachimura, same thing. D'Angelo Russell, same thing. They could use a third star, but, you know, that's just going to eat up most of their bench. And then you have no bench, right? So the thing with LA is, it'd be cool if, you know, LeBron James was in his 10th year or something like that kind of thing, right? But now he's not. So he needs that bench. So I don't think Zach Lavine going to the LA Lakers is a good thing. I don't think so at all. So, which leads me to the Miami Heat. Now, Miami Heat are unbelievable. They are just proving everybody wrong. At the end of the day, Jimmy Butler is a force to be reckoned with. Eric Spoelstra knows how to coach the hell out of a team. They continue to go to the finals even without a proper, you know, high elite team drafting all these undrafted players like Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, and whatnot. And they're still getting the job done, even though they don't have those guys anymore, but they're still getting the job done. So can Miami Heat pull off a deal for Zach Lavine? Pat Riley struck out with Dame Lillard, obviously. He basically struck out with Bradley Beal, and I just think third time's a charm. So Pat Riley needs to consider Zach Lavine. And I know they're balling right now, so therefore, I don't know what kind of offer they're going to get. Probably at least 3 or 4 draft picks. And Kyle Lowry's expiring contract, obviously, because he's got that money. And maybe Duncan Robinson, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe Tyler Hero. Speaking of Tyler Hero, he was coveted by the Bulls when it was the, you know, Dame Lillard situation and they needed a trading partner. He was coveted by the Bulls. I'm just saying that if you throw in Tyler Hero, you could get somewhere. And, you know, Miami Heat look good right now, but just imagine how good they would look with Zach Lavine on their team. You know, leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you guys think. How would you feel if Zach Lavine was on the Miami Heat, and how far would the Miami Heat go in the playoffs? Would they reach the finals again, or would they actually win the NBA Finals and become champions once again? Leave a comment in the comment section. As always, Jag from Jaggy Sports.